Okay, it is our regular scheduled meeting. Welcome everybody. It is 7 o'clock, Tuesday, May 29th. Can I have roll call, please?
Michael Hillman.
Here.
Scott Pennell.
Here.
Tracy Stokes. Here. Bob Boland.
Here.
Mike Buick.
Here.
John Curtis.
Here.
Jason Siegel.
Here, yes.
Okay. We're in our regular meeting. We'll continue the discussion.
Okay, so we're talking to Alan Matlow.
Oh, wait a minute, let's do the pledge.
Okay, do the pledge. Yep.
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Again, for the record, Alan Matlow, the George K. Bauman Company. Talking about the bond issue, the bond counsel firm of Butler Snow is the firm that's putting together all the documents. Your city attorney was on has reviewed the first documents, was on the call today to review those. I will be at the next meeting, as will one of the attorneys, I think Kim Crawford from Butler Snow, and I have the second reading on my agenda as well. So if you have questions, the ordinance that will be considered describes the bond issue as I've described it, and then it has parameters in it. So if those are the maximums we can't exceed. And so we always give ourselves a little bit of room in there. I will be continuously updating the numbers, and then the council can decide if they don't feel comfortable, or they want to waive, that's fine. But we've kind of put boundaries around this bond issue. And the maximum size is 11 million. We think it's going to be more like 10, but it's 11 million. The maximum interest rate is 5%, even though we think it's 4 or something. And the maximum term is 2043. We don't think it's going to be that long, but let's say that rates are really low and we go to market and investors come in and say, hey, if you fit this structure, we give you more money and it looks like it's the same, you might say, yeah, go ahead and do that. So that's why we give ourselves some flexibility, because we don't know exactly what the market's going to look like 2 months from now, essentially. So we have 2 readings of the ordinance. That ordinance will adopt all the documents. So there are 712 of them. I'm just kidding. There's like 30 of them. But it approves all of the documents. And who is the, so it's just the mayor and then the city clerk who have to sign everything.
171, he said.
I've got a stamp.
I got a stamp.
There you go.
And then
I can bring my kids and.
And then we do all of this in our Denver office. So we have salespeople in 5 locations across the country, but all of it is kind of controlled in the Denver office. So myself, the quantitative people, the salespeople, the people on the desk structuring the deal are all in Denver. So again, if anybody wants to attend the sale, we can set that up. We're like around the corner from Union Station, to our offices. So something to do. The traffic will be fine. There's no traffic at all. Just tell me.
You're on record. You're on record.
Yeah. And the bond sales are about 8 o'clock it starts, and the reason that's 8 o'clock is a lot of the buyers are back east. So for them it's 10 o'clock. It's all electronic. It's all on. There's phone calls being made, but mostly it's on the Bloomberg system. So Michael Bloomberg, who is the mayor of New York, who's I think worth $37 billion. The reason he's worth $37 billion is because he sells these terminals, this intranet, for all financial services firms, and you pay a ridiculous amount of money to rent them. You don't own them. To rent them, to rent the data, and that's why he's worth so much money. And so it's kind of an inside system. And then we have a big screen, as I said, where you can watch the orders come in, and we can kind of go through them and explain who's buying and why they're buying in certain places. It's kind of interesting. A little more interactive than it used to be a few years ago.
We don't get to fly out to New York to watch this?
No, we do it here in Denver. Hands on.
But no traffic.
But no traffic.
All right.
So I'm happy to answer any questions.
If there's no traffic in Denver, I'm pretty sure that means it's the zombie apocalypse.
That's right.
So does anybody have any questions for Alan?
Could be the zombie apocalypse. very
Is that
interesting.
date again?
We don't, we're not sure
Yes,
yet. I
yeah, we
don't
signed
have
it.
the calendar.
It's like 21st of August.
No, that's the closing.
Or close.
So it might be like the first week in August or something like that. We'll adjust a little bit, and we'll make sure that folks, you know, if people want to attend, we can try to work around to a date that works. We have to get through the rating process, which is not, doesn't take that long. We should get through the rating process in the middle of July, so we have time, we can play with it. What we don't want to do is sell too early. Some investors don't like to have a really long period of time between the day you sell and the day you close, because they're committed their money for that period of time, it's not earning anything. So we usually try to max that out in like 3 weeks. But if we see interest rates going up or something, we might want to sneak in a little bit early. So we think about that in terms of dates that might work. We usually sell bonds on only Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Thursdays, especially in the summer, because a lot of investors they take long weekends and stuff, and you want to miss people.
Right.
I know. You'd think now with technology they'd be around, but
Long weekend.
I'm just saying. Some people take days off. Anyway,
Okay.
that's great.
So with the 10-5, of course, what we are gonna do, council, is we're gonna be going, after any grants that can help us with the water and sewer. That's how we did Colorado Boulevard, and we will still look at those. We also gotta realize that we got a lot of things going on. We're going after a DOLA, grant for the water and wastewater plant. And this, we're gonna go after one for the park improvement, so I know DOLA likes this, but it could get to the point that the city, you know, Idaho Springs is getting too much.
They're wearing out our welcome.
It's that darn Clay Brown.
Clay, we like Clay.
I don't
He's
know.
great to
I
us.
don't know.
Don't you go down there. So I guess the next thing we should talk about, and that's why Tony's here, is kinda what we were looking at as the first projects and how we wanna kinda move forward with them, and line up the projects that we're gonna do. And even though we're already basically spending money on East Minor, that is a bond project. So we have money to pay for it, it's not like, we don't have to wait on them to do the
Right,
project.
the other thing I'll mention real quick is because the source of the repayment is the sales tax, and it's really unrelated to what you're spending the money on. If you say, here's the 6 projects we're thinking about doing, and then you want to do some other ones, it's okay, you change your mind, as long as they're within what was voted in the question. So
Okay.
you don't have to like decide this minute what exactly the money's gonna be spent on. Yeah.
All right,
Okay.
Tony, you wanna come up?
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Thank you.
Sure, I'll listen
Thanks,
to what the
Alan.
story is, what are we gonna vote?
Sure. You don't need a chair. No? It's probably better if I don't. So I brought a couple of drawings. As you guys know, about a year ago, we went through the entire town, with Mike and Andy and John, and reviewed and sort of did an overall assessment of basically every road in the city limits. And I think you guys have already seen the list of projects and rating system, post that to the public. And I think there was 4 different criteria. One was street condition, one was the priority and use of the road, another was the drainage, the water and wastewater. So you got 3 high priorities for the actual condition of the pavement. Then wastewater was your sewer system was the second highest, and then followed by priority use and then water. So through that, we came up with a 4-point rating system, and that ranged from 0 to 5 being poor condition, 0 being great condition. Colorado Boulevard is about the only thing that says 0. And we didn't do anything that's 5. The maximum was 3.6, and that's just how everything graded out. And so the top 5 projects are all rated 3.6. I think they just kind of ended up going in alphabetical order. Then it's followed by, there's all 10 of them that were at 3.3, and then on down to 3.0. So what we did, what we've been doing is kind of assessing some of the worst areas in the town, as far as almost all of them have poor pavement. All of them have to have the sewer redone. Most of them have to have some water. So we didn't actually just start going through every single, just right on down the list.
I came up with an idea that we've already rebuilt Colorado Boulevard. It'll be finished in another month and a half. We're working on East Minor and related corridor, 24th, 25th, 27th Ave, 27th Place and Edwards. So the idea here, that we were looking at is trying to finish everything on the east end of town. So one of the projects that we're looking at is Gilson and East Riverside, from the existing pavement all the way down to State Water Park.
And along with that, and Tony and I were talking about this, and I mentioned to Andy, it will from once the Greenway goes in, we're gonna improve Riverside and from the Argo too, that's a city street, so it will be paved. So everything we can say in good faith that from the visitor center east, every single road has been, and every single water and sewer service, mains have been in place. I think that's a huge accomplishment for Echo Springs. And there's one project, the project that Tony's talking about happens to be a D rating. It's not on the F list. If you go over there and drive, you'd say this probably should have been on an F list because that Riverside into that park is bad over there.
So what's rated above that part
Are these highlights color coded to ratings?
Let me see your list.
So this, the pink is 3.6.
Well, they're anything above 3. Yeah.
So F's, we have, this is Riverside, I don't know why the sheet I got the other day didn't have Riverside on it. Did you add that?
That's 107. So you gotta realize these are broken out by different segments. It's
Right.
not the whole road.
So, okay,
So that's 107, which is in front of the Argo,
oh, okay.
which is basically a dirt
Dirt
road,
road.
really beat up, nothing.
And it's not gonna be paid for out of our bond money. We're gonna resurface that with the GoCo grant and the Greenway. So we don't have, for that Riverside, we don't have to spend any money on it. That's gonna get done. No, there's no services that we're replacing,
It's just a,
right? There's no
Yeah.
services, I mean, there's no water and sewer in there that we're replacing right now, is there?
And the part that the Argo's gonna do?
Yeah.
No. They wanna put new water and sewer in there.
And then.
but that would be at their cost,
Then we've
right?
got Minor Street, and this is Central Minor, from the bridge to tie into the visitor center.
Okay,
That would complete our whole walk from downtown
okay,
down through there.
yeah,
West Minor, which is through the trailer park,
okay, this is part of the detour, the
and we're
original
talking about
detour.
doing 4 blocks of that, 6th to 9th, right?
Correct.
6th to 9th on that. This other minor is,
That's West Minor, that's the one we were just talking about. So you've got East Minor that we're working on,
oh, that's why.
West Minor is
And
the
then
other
Central
Central
Minor.
and then
Yeah.
Central.
And then there's Wall Street that's an F. So Wall Street is right up behind the Elks Lodge, and I got a call on that and went and looked at it. It's a dirt road, and, all the residents, there's, at least one resident that's not tied into the main. So the main stops right here, her house is here, so she's tied into her neighbor, and her neighbor's tied into it.
Oh, geez,
Yeah.
Little daisy chain action, huh?
Yeah.
The whole town used to be that way. Really?
But there's something else along with that property that goes back to 1992. And it was called the Wall Street annexation. And there was some things in that the residents were on the hook for. And one of them was to basically rebuild the retaining wall and maintain the drainage through there. So with this call and deed right away over to the city, there's only been one property out of 7 that had actually gone through that process. Those houses have changed hands, and there's probably owners up there that didn't even know this existed.
Right.
And now they're on the hook for giving us that property for us to build a right of way through there. And if we need to rebuild that wall, they're on the hook for that, which could, we don't know how much. But he thinks there might be some ideas of not rebuilding the whole wall.
Who's on
So
the
that's
hook
one
for
of,
it?
I'm sorry?
The owners are on the hook for it?
Mhm.
And it wasn't a title search when they bought property?
I would have been interested in finding it and having it disclosed that I was on the, because there's signs up there that says private property, no parking on the other side of the street, so that really belongs to them. They're gonna have to give that right away over to the city for us to put that road in. And then there's the question, is it safer to leave it on dirt? Because I was told over 12% grade, you may wanna keep it dirt for traction.
What
That
is the
sounds
actual
like a
grade
mess.
there, John, you know?
You know, I'm not sure what that grade is, but
I know you can
It's
fall
steep.
off of it.
Yeah, when you go over there, you can't even see over your head.
That's probably high enough.
yes, it is.
So,
Unbelievable.
That sounds like
that's
a
one,
mess.
that that's gonna take a lot of work.
It was like more than half of our streets were after.
And, you know, I mean, we don't wanna tell somebody, well, nobody uses that road but you, so it's gonna wait.
No, but it sounds like it's complicated,
It's
and that's gonna have to
complicated,
give it a
and-
lot of thought of how we manage that.
Yeah, yeah. Tony thinks that one probably costs about 200.
250. I don't know what
And it only serves 7 houses. I mean, I don't think we should take that into a no, because it's only, but I really believe that when you got 120 to 130 residents down the riverside, that's important, you know.
When they
Minor
bought that
street.
property, they knew what that road
They
was
should,
like.
well, I don't know how many's still left there, 1992, you know, it's been 26 years. And,
But there's issues
and I know the
that they're
person that
dealing
called
with
me is only
current
been there
day,
since 2010, and I bet they don't know,
but that steep drop off
Yeah.
at the end of the road is,
yeah. So those are things
there's
we
a lot
have
of
to consider
complications there.
on that. What else do we have on the F list? Well, the Wall Street 25th, we've already done.
Well, no, we haven't.
Well, that's part of East Minot, so
Right.
it's good and done. 14th, 15th Avenue. Those are the avenues back here
14th, 15th,
going on the north side.
It's the little pieces between Colorado Boulevard and Minor that
Oh,
are
yeah.
pretty beat up.
Yeah, all those were used for detours too.
But that
It's
is
Idaho Street,
I'm sorry.
Idaho Street.
Idaho Street. Idaho Street is from the bus barn down to,
Oh,
103.
yeah. That's right.
But there's some things that we're gonna be discussing at another time about that street too. Water Street, Virginia. Yeah, they don't have the addresses on here.
I know we're part of Virginia, so there's a huge stretch of Virginia that is all red. And we started looking at the farthest east by the Argo Mill, working towards
All the way.
Virginia Street. 66, the one you were reading off, this is just up behind, here's 17th, here's the church, and then there's Wall Street.
Yep.
So this whole stretch right here of
It's pretty bad.
all of Virginia is in pretty bad shape until you get down to 9. But what we did,
I always feel like I'm
looking
gonna
at our
fall off
projects
of that
as far
street
as
when I'm
east.
driving on it. It's pretty bad.
So what Tony and HCR, they're gonna get us a proposal about designing these roads, we're gonna go ahead and put them into design costs for them, so we can figure out what we're gonna do to get done with it. And we're figuring East Minor, another thing that we need to mention is, at this point, Soda Creek has been put on hold.
Why is that?
It has.
But, yeah, we're gonna have to hold on, the Hot Springs and the Surety property owners, it's two different, there was some,
There were some issues with the.
well, it was more that we were gonna do a lot of work that the Hot Springs didn't want in front of the building, like adding the sidewalk. We were gonna add some more, parking down towards Minor Street. They are demanding that we take care of that if we do it. And we said, well, we don't do it for anybody else, we're not gonna manage that, push the snow, and be your responsibility of us to do the property.
Right.
So we decided that, with all the demands from them, the redesign, we can't honor any contracts or any bids that we have, because there's gonna be such a design change.
Right.
That we need to put it,
We gotta go put it back to bed.
and what, we kinda, Andy and I, to bring to council is with all the demands from them, we think it's gonna be better to just do a road project, water sewer drainage, and not worry about sidewalks down there, we'll build a sidewalk from Montana to Minor.
Okay.
That's
I like that.
It takes out a lot of costs over there for Soda Creek,
Yeah.
and what we'd like to do is, go ahead and design Central Minor and do Soda Creek and Central Minor, since they'll be coming down already at Minor Street. So we did that, and Tony thinks that, Central Minor was about $1 million. So if we can save, say we save $300,000 over there on that, then this only costs us $700,000 to get done. And we do it as one project, and then we save some costs.
Yeah.
So anybody that's asking, and they will be asking, that the reason that we had to is one, big changes in design, city wasn't quite ready, and to make sure that the city didn't get exposed to a lawsuit, we need to put the brakes on this thing, rethink it, redesign it, and bundle it with another project and rebid it. I don't know if y'all know the story, we got the 6 bids in, I mean, I told you, $1.5 million, the next bid was 2.1, small increments after that, engineering cost was 2.1, and before we woke up the next morning, the 1.5, retracted their bid, because they knew they left 600 grants laying on the table. Then we went to the second bid, and found out that, they weren't really qualified to do the work, so we're gonna have to go to the next bid. And then, as I've been saying for the last month, the delay of JVA, they were supposed to have it to us the first of the year, they didn't get it to us until April, to even put it out for bid. The easement's not lining up, the communication with the hot springs and the surety group, it was just a storm brewing. And I got really nervous, and I said, this could only get worse, I don't wanna leave the city
Don't
set
people
up to.
pre-qualify before they bid?
We did not pre-qual anybody.
Might be a lesson here.
Yeah. So, I think it's the best interest of the city, protects us, that we just need to put the brakes on that, get the redesign, rebid it, and start next February. Yes.
Is Montaigne Drive on the next page?
It's actually.
It's on the F list.
It's on a B list.
It's the last on the F list.
It's not.
Yeah, it is.
It is.
Montaigne? Yeah, it's the last on the F list.
These are not in order.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Well, it's
it's
just on the last one.
It's on the,
Like I said, it's tied with.
It's on the same
with
page.
10 others.
Right.
It's pretty well tied, but
Well, that was what I heard the most about when I was getting signatures for the petition for council was Montaigne Drive.
that needed to be fixed.
Well, you know your signatures up there.
Yeah,
Well,
I've
it's,
seen it actually.
We'll have.
There's not very many registered voters anywhere else in my ward other than Montaigne Drive. Let's just put it that way.
Anyway,
Big concentration of mine.
So that will be another one we look at, but,
no, believe me, I'm just making noise.
well, we're thinking it's gonna be about a $7 million project.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
huge, no doubt.
It's just, freaking, it's curvy, it's steep, and,
Yeah.
equipment
Edges are on
is
the
not
edge.
easily placed there.
Andy didn't like my idea of just making sure everybody's at home, we just blow the street up so nobody can get off.
Or you just build a freaking gondola.
Gondola.
I'll do it.
You
Bob.
build a gondola for less than $7 million, right?
Okay, so that's how we're kind of moving along. I think that, we're gonna have about, 3 projects we're trying to put some numbers to. Maybe we can squeeze 4 out of it with the saving, and us having a couple
Yeah.
$1 million in the bank already to be able to pay. And that's the other thing, that $2 million could potentially pay for Soda Creek and almost pay for Soda Creek and, Central Mine,
Yeah.
that we just pay cash for.
Yeah, it isn't like nothing is happening, I mean, Soda Creek being off there, it won't even show up on the radar. I don't think. So,
Okay,
Cool.
so just the ones that I'm looking at most are East Riverside. East Miner's already gone. East Riverside, East Miner's going, Central Miner, West Miner. Then we had scoped a chunk of Virginia from 23rd to
Virginia Canyon.
Which is way over the amount of money that we have. But I think that the thing I would encourage you to do is over-design a little bit, so you have something on the shelf, if down the road you want if you have extra cash.
We have extra cash, and we already have, hey, let's get this started.
We already have the design.
So I think with the budget that you have, you'll be able to get, so definitely get East Miner, I think East Riverside, and I think Central and West Miner are all in there. We're gonna have to tighten up the design to make sure that we have the budget for it. Virginia Canyon Virginia is probably over budget. It's expensive.
It's expensive because the way it sets up here and the tie-ins are way down here.
Yeah.
Some of those are gonna be,
Yeah.
one, just to do the project, it's gonna be difficult, and the costs are gonna be more because of the way everything's tied in.
So my question to you guys would be, if you agree with the three that I think are pretty good chance of being within the budget, is Virginia a higher reading than Fontaine or some other piece of Virginia or Wall Street, or is that something you guys need to discuss internally? Or is it something we should go?
What are our choices?
I think we should have a meeting and just look at that map and,
Yeah.
Do a work
Absolutely.
session and.
Yeah.
Okay.
See what's the most
I
bang
don't
for the
think we
buck.
wanna make a decision tonight.
No, we're not gonna make a decision tonight.
You said 4 projects, I thought.
Virginia being the fourth
No,
one,
no, you had,
Central Minor, East Minor,
West Minor.
West
East
Minor
Riverside.
and
Or
Riverside.
East Riverside.
East, yeah.
West Minor, Central Minor, which is part of Silver Street.
East Minor.
East Minor's already designed, so I didn't count
and
that
that's
one.
what, that's
Okay.
costing us $3
Okay.
million.
All right.
We're at
3.1.
3.1. Oh, that's not good. That takes.
And that includes the lateral streets in Edwards and all that.
Edwards,
That whole neighborhood.
Rerouting your water system so you have a fire hydrant up on the Edwards for fire protection.
Yeah, and that really, it puts our money where our mouth is on that east area sub, plan. It really shows how serious we are about pursuing that. I think that's great.
And, with any luck or with some luck, and some help from DOLA, at 10.5, if we could get, say, we're gonna bundle it as one and go after $1 million, or we'll look at it once we get them designed to see if it makes more sense to do it in 2. So we could go out for a DOLA grant for $1 million on 2 of the projects and then go back and try to get another $1 million later. Of course, we could run into the same situation, we got too much, we need to give some money to somebody else, and I really believe we're doing all the right things that DOLA likes to see. New sewer plant, public works, water and sewer lines, undergrounding line. I mean, we are just lining up our resume of all the good things that we're doing in this community. I really believe that DOLA takes that into consideration and pushes for us.
And DOLA revenues are going up too. DOLA revenues are going up as well.
Well, I would say get back into the $2 million thing,
Level 2.
level 2.
Tier 2.
And only a couple of years ago, and asks for them.
Yeah.
Okay, anything else you wanna go over?
If we did do that work session, we need to know kind of the budget numbers, cause the money's gonna be part of the decision
Yeah.
process.
Okay, we'll set that work session up.
I can give you a general idea right now, that that's what you're looking at.
Sure.
So you got, you're assuming 10.5 million, right? 3 million is coming off the top for East Minor, that's 7.5. Then design, I think, is gonna be in the $400,000 or $500,000 range. And then construction management is about $75,000 a month, depending on how long it lasts. I'm assuming going to May of 2020 is like another $1.5 million. So that's 2 million total in engineering, which is 20%.
But we also have some, engineering money in our general fund that we budget for, that can help with some of that.
So that puts you at 5.5 million left, or a little bit more, so I think 5.5 million, West Minor, Central Minor, and East Riverside. So then you're looking at work conversion, and then you're looking at, like I said, if you over-design a little bit, we can squeeze that budget down. But definitely the longer you go, if you have an engineering consultant do the work, the more it costs. If you do one job one year and then one job the next year and one job the next year, you're paying more for me. Where you could do all of these at one time, if your grants and stuff work out, because the traffic impacts of each of these are so far apart that I think you could do them as one project.
And if we both put them together, you do save costs in your vote,
And your inflation.
and inflation, because you lock your prices in and stuff.
And then, the other thing I was gonna say too is that, if you have DOLA grants or things like that, and you keep adding and you're working on more, you don't wanna make a decision on a 4th project now, you can still keep on designing in a later form.
Or if we wanna really get nasty, we could, if we wanted to pull another project together, I don't know how much support we would get. Yeah, just take it up tonight. We talked about for capital improvements on our water and wastewater plans, to do a sales tax and have a sunset on it for 4 or 5 years and say, hey, this is good for the water and sewer, and we can support it for another 5 years and then go away. But I'm a little nervous about that because right now we're already at 8.65, and on the ballot this year is going to be from the transportation for another 0.62. So we're only going to be up to 9.25 if that passes. We probably need to be voting on it. We got a lot of transportation needs, and 6.62 to help pay for that.
Well, that's a hefty tax, isn't it?
Yeah, it's hefty, but they haven't attached it to the gas tax.
Yeah.
And they didn't want to do that because of the electric cars and, you know, more technology coming along, that the gas cars are using less fuel, they're getting more mileage, and they really don't think that would support into the future. And there's many more ties to that 6.62%. Like the county will be able to receive some of that money for matching grants.
Yeah.
And cities will also, municipalities will also be able to get some money out of that, dedicated to the community. So there are some good things that we have. All right, go get your little pocketbook out and start designing.
Work on it right now.
I gotta go home. Dinner's
I worked
ready.
on it all day, but,
Uh,
I got one last question for the council though. Speed limit signs going up on Colorado Boulevard are gonna be 30 miles per hour, but there's been discussion about going to 25 miles per hour.
I could consistently only
25.
run through, or?
Whose decision is this?
Council.
So,
Did we
wait,
had-
so,
did
so
we
the,
need to
so
check?
the original plan is 30 mile per hour?
Well, it was 30.
So it was.
We have changed
It was
ordinance.
30, and they can go back with that, or do we want it 25 from one
As
year?
long as it's not 15.
Nah. Just looking at 15 on Minor Street. And then we have to find out if there was some legislation that, when I went to a policy committee meeting, that said that we may have to do, I don't know if, we may have to, I don't know if we're only changing it 5 miles an hour, we may not have to do a traffic study, but there may be a chance to expect a traffic study.
How much is that gonna cost? Or we just put a 30
If
mile
we
per hour
change
speed
it
sign?
to 25,
I'm sorry?
if we change it to
Well, I don't know, I'm gonna have to look into the regulations, but there was something that definitely came up about local communities changing this.
Well, I know at our place, it's hard, when you're backing out of there, 25 would be nicer because people are going 35 when it's 30, you know?
Yeah, 25.
Or we highly
And
enforce
then
that.
I would really like to, and I can still see people going through the roundabout and much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to.
I think 25 seems
25 is-
reasonable.
It's 25 all the way through the park.
It's
and
reasonable.
I think that seems reasonable to me.
And then we'll have to force the chief.
Why
to
do
make sure
people
we-
Then what's it gonna cost for new signs?
Yeah.
So we know
Those
that
signs
there's
are
gonna be
probably
infractions
about
in certain areas of
Right.
Colorado.
$65
Man, we
a
have
piece.
30 mile an hour speed.
I'd really like to get one right off the roundabout.
Yeah.
Really flashes if you go
I do
fast.
too.
Yes.
I like
So we
25
come in and
myself.
that was
You
initially
don't have
slowing
enough
down.
police to cover that situation.
It's not a thoroughbare through Idaho Springs.
Is there electricity there or would it be solar?
It'd probably be attached to the, I mean, think about that, it might even be attached to the streetlights. If we do that, then.
Streetlights.
We don't have those to the streetlights.
Speed limit
Yeah.
signs? No, we can.
But if we want one with some, solar, absolutely.
You want a solar powered?
Well, maybe a blinking one or something that, the chief had an idea, where's chief?
What was my idea? I have
About
some
having
idea.
one that was flashing initially,
Yeah.
so people would come and see it.
Yeah, you're seeing them more and more. It's an LED light. It's just
Yeah,
have
I like
LEDs
those.
around
I think
it.
it's a good
It works
reminder.
off solar and it just blinks.
Yeah.
It doesn't have the radar. You don't have to maintain.
Like the one that's on Central City Parkway?
Maybe I haven't
Yeah.
seen it.
I see
That one
that.
actually turns, red, the red and blue
Oh
lights.
no, they're
That's
just
just a-
constantly flashing.
Oh,
lights.
okay, I see, I know what you're talking
Yeah, so it gets everybody's attention.
Not the ones that say you're going this fast,
Yeah.
you're supposed to be going this
Yeah.
fast.
Because you know, the more technological you get, the more expensive it is, the higher the maintenance costs.
Alright. Let's find out how.
Did we already get some quotes on those types of things from when we were talking about West Colorado Boulevard?
In the past, we did,
Yeah, probably old
yeah.
quotes.
What's
That was-
council's
it might be like 2 years
25?
ago.
I like
Ranger,
25.
I like
I
25.
kinda like 25.
Everybody's good with 25?
What do you guys think?
Yes.
I'll do some research and make sure that we can just do it. I'll get Chief to check it out.
What's chief's
It
vote?
says Chief is the
25.
traffic, what is he?
Yeah.
Traffic engineer?
Traffic engineer of the city.
Until December 31st, then I'm asking for change in my position description to exclude that. But, yeah, 20, I think the reason 25 is the best because the dynamic has changed.
Yeah,
And there's so many more people gonna be getting in and out of parking spaces.
Yeah.
Right.
25 is, you know,
well, there's more pedestrians too.
yes.
Oh, and I'll see people walking.
Boy, yes.
Big time.
Well, I had to pull some camera footage, the other day.
Except Laura Salmon, she was walking in the street. Maybe that was protesting the sidewalks.
Right. No, I pulled some camera footage for something. There was something I had to figure out about a dumpster. It looked funny, but I saw at least 30 people. Like I watched about like 30 minutes of camera. At least 30 bicycles going down at like 8 o'clock in the morning. Oh man, there's a lot of people using that.
Big time. Alright.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Alan.
We'll see you on the 11th.
Thanks,
Do
Alan.
we want to move or we just want to do the rest of the meeting from
Just
here?
here.
Let's just do it from here?
Yeah.
No more questions?
Thanks, Tony.
Thanks,
Thank
Tony.
you.
Alright, let's get to it. We don't have a whole lot on the agenda. Alright, I have an
Talk
agenda.
about the other work session.
Let's just, do we need a decision on that now, the shelves?
No, it's just to give you a brief overview. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory.
Yeah. Where are these going?
Over here, to replace that ugly table
What?
and all the stuff underneath of it. And
might actually
over
want
here
that
in this
table.
corner.
And then, okay,
And they will match these
Okay.
tables.
cool.
So a little food
Okay,
for
we
thought. I
have an
will
agenda in front of us, I need a motion.
move to approve the agenda for May 29th, 2018 meeting.
Do I have a second? Second. Motion and second on the table, discussion? All in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, does anybody feel they have a conflict of interest tonight? Hearing none, minutes, do I have a motion?
Move to approve the minutes from May 14th, 2018.
Do I have a second?
So,
Motion and second, discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion passes. Approval of the bills, do I have a motion?
Move to approve bills to May 29th, 2018 and salaries for April 2018.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. Anything that anybody wants to ask questions on?
The, page 4, towards the bottom, second up from the bottom, common knowledge technology, a docking station for 668.
Yes, we, all of our cars have docking stations, so
Okay.
it's for the laptop that's in the car.
Oh, okay. Well, that's police budget. I didn't notice that. And then this, same page, second from the top, expansion PELs, I'm assuming that's wastewater. The Department of Public Health and Environment, $6,300.
What they have to do is have an engineer work with the state for any future regs and regulations on what's coming out of the street. So when you expand your plant, you're gonna have to tell them
I see.
what you gotta design
I see.
to treat the wastewater for.
Okay. Oh, okay. So we're saying we need to expand, and we have to say this is what our output's going to be.
The health department,
I see.
yeah,
That makes sense.
gotta work with the
What's
engineer.
PEL stand for, John?
Huh?
What's PEL stand for?
preliminary
Environmental.
limits.
limits.
Oh, yeah. Preliminary- Yeah.
Okay. Anything else? Roll call, please.
Michael Hillman.
Yes.
Scott Pennell.
Yes.
Casey Stokes.
Yes.
Bob Boland.
Yes.
Mike Buick.
Yes.
John Curtis.
Yes.
Jason Siegel.
Yes. All right, we'll move on down to resolutions. So I have a motion.
Move to approve resolution number 5, series 2018, a resolution adopting amended compensation plan for employees and officers of the city.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Motion is second discussion.
So what's this?
It's
Right.
basically just to change the job descriptions of the, utility billing clerk and court clerk.
So as everybody knows, we're actively advertising for Katie's position.
7.
And what Diane wanted to do is switch some duties over to
Oh, I see.
the other position.
That's right, that's right.
So it's a very limited change, really.
Very limited.
Yeah, right.
Okay, any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Hearing none, we'll move down to the finance officer.
What?
What? You hadn't said anything? I'm talking about $10.5 million bond, and
Well, she was over there with the face.
You were.
she did give our financial report. Does anybody have any questions for Sandra?
So,
I got one question. Got some money?
No. No mas.
That's been my answer for the last 6 months, so.
You guys are scaring me all this money. 10 million here, 6 million for the wastewater.
We're looking good. Is there anything that we should be concerned about, Sandy, or, and how is the audit going?
Good. I'm hoping I'll get it done early this year since I'm feeling better. So it has to be turned into the state the end of July. So, and there were no red flags or anything. So
We are in June. We will start giving department heads budget sheets in a very quick future. It's that time again to start working on budget.
we just got done with the budget
I know.
yesterday, didn't we?
Last week.
Time flies when you have fun.
Time flies when you're spending millions of dollars, right?
Yeah.
Budget season is 13 months ago.
Right, right.
Yeah, right.
Okay, let's move on down to city administrator.
Mayor and Council, you have my report before you with no request for action. A couple mentions on the upcoming events. The kickoff summer parade and barbecue, free barbecue, is this Saturday, June 2nd. And all of council are invited to participate in the parade. Lineups at 10:45 at the rec center. And the parade begins promptly at 11, going east from the rec center down to City Hall. And then the barbecue is in Citizens Park. I will actually be out of town to attend the graduation this coming weekend. And then next Monday, there'll be a public meeting regarding the I-70 westbound peak period shoulder lane project. It'll be held here at City Hall from 5:30 to 7. There'll be representatives of CDOT and some of their consultants here to talk about the project with residents, particularly the walls, some of the walls and some of the barriers that will need to be constructed as part of the westbound peak period shoulder lane, and how that might appear to residents in the community and that sort of thing. So it'll be a meeting that's geared towards Idaho Springs, so give input on the design.
My last meeting with CDOT was 3 hours about retention ponds and barriers. 3 hours.
Fair warning. I encourage all council members to attend if you can, and then we may have a work session after that meeting at 7.
What was that date?
Next Monday night.
Because the following Monday, we'll have another public meeting. We just scheduled that, Mayor. It's not even, it's so new it didn't even make my report. That's on, help me out. That's on East Minor.
Oh,
I think we
decided
decided to have
another
one more
meeting.
public meeting on East Minor.
If you remember, we did a public meeting with just the folks in that area. I would really like to be transparent because some people will say, hey, we get to kind of see, so we're gonna
That's
do
on the 11th.
And that'll be on the 11th, that's right.
and it's only gonna be for an hour.
Yep.
We'll send out notices to
That'll
all
be
the.
before the regular meeting that evening on the 11th. So, and if that's not enough public meetings for you, there's one more up on Floyd Hill to talk about the I-70 project from Floyd Hill to the Veterans Memorial Tunnels, so that'll be on the 12th.
Yay. 15,000 a year.
That's
All
it.
right, we'll move down to city clerk.
Here in council, I just have my staff report with no request for action, but I would like to expand on the cabinets if I could. Like I said, is to replace that ugly mess over there, give us more storage, there'd be a little prep sink that we could use. And if you'll look at Mountain View Woodworking's proposal, we would be saving about $500 if we paid for them both at the same time. And Bill said that's basically means that he'd get both cabinets at the same time. So it would cost
These are
us,
gonna be rolling cabinets, they're not gonna be built on site,
they would be attached to the wall.
so
So that'd be for the cabinet back here. Your plethora.
Yes. And so the total would be about $7,300. And there is money in the budget.
These are custom made.
Yes. He did these tables as well, and you'll notice they kind of match.
well then, tell him he'll have to put some new casters on these things for us,
At least a little WD-40.
Yes, something.
Oh,
They're not, I don't even think they're casters, I think there's something else.
There's sandpaper. Yeah.
Okay, any more for Diane? All right. PD,
Mayor and Council, I will refer you to my report. I have one request for action, and that is that authorization to pay for the new police interceptor that was authorized at the major purchases equipment.
has anybody seen the new car?
Yeah, new look.
You know the new look?
Yeah.
Okay.
Much.
It's actually really shocker.
Yeah, looks good.
It's all black with white letters.
It is stealth, so beware. You won't really
So,
see it.
who chooses who drives that thing?
You know what, we don't do it on seniority. An officer gets assigned a car,
Okay.
and that car is his until it's time to get replaced. We did make some exceptions. The reason we do that is we did have some protests from senior officers as to why new officers get new cars. Well, the reality is they.
You tore yours up and we're not gonna give it to somebody else.
Exactly, that's it. So that's how it works. You know, through attrition, you know, the next guy will get, like, we're losing one of our officers, they're moving back to the East Coast, but, you know, that car will be parked until the new officer comes and they'll get that car.
Okay. And as you noticed in your packet, the chief gave us a picture of a, storage container.
I saw that.
We're using,
I think it's
Really?
yeah, we're using a refrigerator box now under the bridge.
So that's $8,000, 7,000?
Well, we're negotiating with them, completely finished out, it's between $15,000 and $18,000, which I thought was really high. So what we asked them to do is essentially give us what you see here with the windows and the door, a hole for an air conditioner, and then, you know, we figured we could finish it out ourselves.
Where would that be sitting, Chief?
If you face the police station, it would be on the left side where Sydney parks her car. And, you know, so it'd be perpendicular to the building. And the reason this is important is, you know, every time an officer arrests somebody for even like a minor offense, they're gone for an hour to 90 minutes. You know, there's no way around it. They gotta drive to Georgetown, process them, and, you know, of course, come back. The state has made it legal for us to actually give summonses to people that commit certain felonies, and that doesn't set right with us because, you know, we give them a ticket for a felony and we never see them again. Versus if, you know, if nothing else, we can get them in the system, get their fingerprints, get their photographs, and if they don't come back, you know, we have something to work with. But to do that, and also we don't have an interview room. You know, and that creates some problems if we use The locker room, we have to go in and sterilize it every time, you know, put away the plastic knives, anything like that can be thrown at us. Plus, depending on the timing, you know, when you open the door, there's a bunch of half-dressed officers waiting to get in to go into service. So we do need an interview room, in a place where we can, you know, fingerprint folks as processing, so it's pretty urgent. We have other issues with that building, it's not ADA accessible. I know we have a ramp, but it's like a ramp to nowhere. We don't have ADA accessible restrooms, and if we did, we can't get people to them. So, you know, at least this will kind of give us a little bit of time without making an investment in the building, because the building's not ours. It would require some major reconfiguration, and it would be more expensive than just a temporary fix.
So let me ask you, like, let's say, for example, you have to interview some kind of criminal who is handicapped and they need to use the restroom, and you don't have an ADA acceptable. I mean, is that something they could sue you for?
Oh, yeah, but, you know, in a case like that, you know, we would bring them
Just
down.
take it down to
We can't
Georgetown.
bring them down to Georgetown, but then, you know, yeah, we have to remember at any given time, there's only one officer working and then we on standby. So, yeah, so this'll remedy, you know, some of the problems that we're facing until, you know, we do get that permanent fix.
And what part of the budget would you pull this from?
Well,
He's
we've,
had an position,
Oh, okay.
yeah, John's position
That's
right
right,
now,
that's right.
we've got approximately $30,000 of surplus, so.
Cool.
Did you see John just smile after he said that?
He's like, let's swipe some of that.
I'd say,
You know, hey, what I like, you know, are photographs, that, I don't think you've done that in previous reports.
No, I've decided that I'm gonna outdo both John and Dan every council meeting.
No,
Golly.
very good.
John can go take whole pictures of manholes and valve boxes, you know.
Do we need to increase your printer ink and paper budget?
What's that?
Do we need to increase your printer ink budget?
No,
Yeah, he comes down here and uses
scanned that and
No,
sent it
mine.
to Diane.
Oh.
Yeah. Mine's in black, my
Your
is in black and
budget.
white.
All right, any more questions for the chief? All
Good
right,
report,
I need a
I like
motion. Oh, and just, I'm very actively still working on, I think that we may get really lucky and get that property to build a new fire station. And if we do that, the parking lot down here
Oh,
on
okay.
103, and in the case that we get that, then we'll do a remodel on the fire station in that area.
Fabulous, yes. Okay.
And make that public works, is that what you said?
No, I thought you wanted a new building.
Well, in the interim.
Oh, in the interim?
You know, interims around here can be quite a while.
Okay, do I have a motion?
Then move to approve payment to Spratly Bar Ford for purchase of a 2018 Ford Police Interceptor for $43,771.
We have a second. Second. Motion and a second. Any discussion or questions for the chief? Roll call.
Michael Hillman,
Yes.
Scott Canal,
Yes.
Teresa Stokes,
Yes.
Bob Boland,
Yes.
Mike Buey,
Yes.
John Curtis,
Yes.
Jason Segel.
Yes. All right, John, you're up. What you got?
Yay.
Mayor and council, once again, I forgot my staff report.
I was just looking
So
for it.
Chris just outdid me.
Right.
Boy, did he ever.
All the way over
You have to print photos.
Wait till the next time.
Okay, does anybody have any questions for John?
I just wanna say thanks to Mr. Boland and Ms. Stokes for the
Absolutely.
flowers. They
For the
did
flowers,
a great job.
I made 2 trips to Danby. Tracy was out there unloading and directing everybody and getting them in, and thank you.
Well, she came
Yeah,
up with the
it's a privilege.
troops. Wow.
Yeah, we're happy to do it.
That helps us out tremendously.
And then, John has, brought one, summertime staff on. Are you gonna bring another one also?
Yeah, we've had to add the paper. Actually, I received one application today, and then you said that you would get another application, so.
We'll be ready to go, watering plants and,
We will start watering plants tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that'd be right away.
Yeah.
Boy, they better be alive.
I think next year we would be able to probably hang them on the light poles all the way down. I mean, for
Oh, man.
flower baskets all the way
Cool.
down. looked really cool driving down with all the flags out.
That was a great
Yeah,
effort
mine
on
is
Troy,
pretty
right,
down
Troy?
Yeah, so,
It looked neat.
kudos to Troy. Yeah, dude, it's good.
How do you feel about your applications?
Got 8 of them, real good.
Cool. Good.
All right, well, Dan's not here,
Dan couldn't be here today.
okay?
He's getting married.
What? No. Tonight?
Huh? No, not tonight. He's just getting prepped. He's working up to it.
So he's already married.
That's right. He's got babies.
Sometimes he changes his mind.
All right, I can't think of anything else. Does anybody have anything, committee reports and? No? Okay, it is 7:57, meeting adjourned.
All right.
Thanks, everybody.
Deal.
Oh.
Bring it home.
I did. And he said, yeah, we will get to walk through.
It has been real tough.
Are you still having those bad long hours?
Really disappointing.
I am.
Step up.
Well, I am all the comfort ride and the, hey, let me tell you.
How crazy is that?
There's no heavy road that truck, it does ride like a truck.
Oh, golly. Oh, golly,
And
okay.
so I have been so pegged that it's
Okay.
not even funny.
Yeah, I know you're right.
All right.
Wait,
I
thank
still
you.
want one.
I will pass these on.
We were gonna get through Memorial Day.
Right.
So can we, every year. Next week, we can get it.
Yes, let me go ahead and review my schedule, I'm going to make a note, make a couple
That
of
was the first
suggestions.
reading on that.
I like this Saturday afternoon.
You do,
Yeah,
okay.
because part of what I do, I don't know what's gonna happen.
Okay, so maybe what we can do is if it wouldn't be too much of an inconvenience, I'm in kind of a nightmare situation down there and I'm trying to schedule meetings there because I'm just not able to get away. So maybe we could do that later in the day at the Argo. So, if I did it towards the end of the day, like 4 o'clock, then it wouldn't run too late for you. Mess up your Saturday, but it'd be late enough in the day where Cindy would have gone by.
That would be fine.
Okay, so what's today? The 29th, so maybe, I don't know. It's not the same.
Sid, you got something to say?
What I got down there. All right.
I actually, oh, talk to Tracy about her reimbursement.
Oh, gotcha. Geez,
Huh?
are you okay?
It hurts, baby. Everything hurts.
What?
Yes, ma'am.
So the reimbursement for your.
Yes, ma'am.
Do you have anything, receipts that show?
Make sure you grab.
Oh, yeah, I
Oh,
know
okay.
exactly what they are.
So,
We saw it before.
let's hold, no, that's okay, let's hold that.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, beautiful.
So let me
That
get in
would be
touch with
great,
you guys
but
because,
you take
they
every one
did
of those
charge
questions.
Airbnb.
Now, I guess the thing I'm wondering is, would you
from my
like
credit
a
card,
thank you letter
but I
or
have a
no thank
question
you
about
letter?
one of the
I don't know
charges
how
that
your
came
management
through.
would view.
So let me go ahead and
your
resolve that
opponent,
with
whatever.
Amex and then I'll provide a copy of my credit card statement.
I mean, it's verified
Yeah,
one
yeah,
cent three.
yeah, let's just wait until it's-
Something to say,
So
we're
we can
reimbursing
It won't be
Yes.
tax deductible because they would destroy field
Okay.
by
Tracy, I
hour.
did give her what
So
you
we were
sent
supposed
me.
to just like throw those.
Let's do it more
Oh, I
formal
know,
so
you
we have
can't-
the
that's
right
no
records.
different.
Yeah.
all I'm
Okay.
saying is how much
I wouldn't
it
worry
costs.
about it.
Right.
I'm not
Just
saying that you
You
have
did pay.
I
Okay,
got-
no problem. I'll
That's
get
something
that.
from Airbnb that actually had part of your credit card.
Okay.
And you know, hopefully fast.
Well, I'm gonna give her my credit card statement.
I don't think there's any question.
You know,
Well,
and that way-
back on the first batch,
shows everything,
but they were thrilled.
Sometimes they'll
They've never
give you a
had anything like
receipt.
that before.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes they would give a receipt
thought of
that has
that.
the last four of your credit card number on there.
This didn't, so that's one of the
I
things
know.
that I'm trying to figure out. Cause at this point, I thought the other second charge came through. I asked him
No,
because
we
my
did. Well,
plans were
anyway,
not
so,
finalized.
we're getting to the
Normally
right
they just
people.
charge the whole
This will
thing.
take probably
And
a
I
couple
asked them
days
to
before
give
you
me 2
reorganize.
split
Take
charges
your
because
time.
we
Oh,
were
yeah.
still
You know, whenever-
making
No,
sure
no,
that I
no,
was
well,
gonna
they'll
be
get us
allowed to
there,
go.
it'll probably be next week.
And
No,
so
but
at
it's
this
today,
point, I have a
Tuesday.
question
Oh,
about
who
the
knows?
second charge, so
It's
let me get it resolved
pretty
in mine
crazy.
and then I'll supply
Jan's
the correct
sister,
documents.
fell
And it
with,
probably will be the
farm,
credit card statement
risk
because it's
anything.
fine.
And so Jan's
That way,
down there,
that will
and so
solve-
our daughter.
Oh, I know,
can black out the other
We'll
stuff
block
too.
it out.
Let's make
And,
sure that
so
it's
anyway,
the way
it's
that it
pretty
should be,
crazy.
so there's
Yeah.
no
Man,
question.
I'm sorry to hear that. I mean, an arm and a hip at the same.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
either
Okay,
one,
we'll have to wait.
one at a
Let me-
time
Yeah.
would be enough.
Let
But
me
the
just
hip-
follow
yeah, she's in her
through and get what,
mid-seventies,
get
so
what we
not
need to
even-
make
Oh,
it
no.
perfect.
They're about-
That's fine.
But anyway, but
Sorry,
it
I
is
passed you
intense.
that.
My
That's
helper.
How you
Yeah.
doing? You look good, your energy level's okay right now?
Wildfire high school
Yeah.
food, Bob.
Cheetos and
I
beer.
know.
You want?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it's once every 3 weeks or so. So
Okay.
it's not quite as.
They're just trying to knock it down.
They are, they saw a change in
So what session?
my results, so
No big deal.
they're trying a different drug.
Okay. Has anybody talked to you about immunotherapy?
No, I don't think so.
Interesting.
Is that, I know they did genetic testing and all this other stuff, but,
Immunotherapy are methods that are coming into play now that basically strengthen your immune system and help your body fight the virus better.
so is it like a diet or?
It is.
Yeah.
It's diet reformation and increasing certain nutrients that give your immune system the double fist. So you can start pounding this thing down because chemo's wearing you down.
Oh, chemo does a number on my.
I'm sure I've heard, I can't imagine it, I know. And then then you're like this every time somebody sneezes, and it's like, so.
Well, maybe you can't have chemo because of that, but then they give you these awful shots to boost it. I know.
Girl.
But I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Well, I'm glad. Your thoughts, everybody's.
It's frustrating. Nobody can do anything.
It is frustrating. But actually, coming to work every day, and my mind on it,
And this is,
and my coworkers are being very supportive. And it's been great.
Stop.
Said I could take.
Whatever time.
Telecommuting. Telecommuting.
She's done some of that, which has been good, we set her up, work
I do my
remotely.
very best work in my own okay? Always been the case.
Oh, good. And then it's nap time. So. It worked out.
No one nap for you, you're a puppy.
Oh, I know. Grant thinks
Life will change.
the therapy dog if you did. It's only 8 weeks old, and I thought, oh my gosh, let me keep up with that thing. But it'll be good. It'll make me happy.
Good. Good. So new puppy on top of it.
Yeah, I know.
Mercy. Yeah, you do have your hands full.
Thank God.
All right, good night, David. A little sore?
Okay.
You have enough help out there?
Yeah, plenty. I mean, it's,
Looks like
they're
it.
always said that she never had help for some reason.
but I just.
And then about 3 years ago, I'm like, well, let's see what we can draw up on Facebook. And, it's kind of a cool thing. The girls like to see on Facebook it's time. We had new ones come in, and 2 of my boys came today, and,
I met one of them out here. What was his name?
Sam.
Sam was working
we're
right out
super
here.
excited. So
Yeah.
he's the brother of our director of ground services, Justin Hutchins. Those 2 kids were raised. They've been, she's been an incredible asset to our facility. It's just been a game changer for us. The higher quality care we can hire, the higher quality tour we can offer the public those kinds of cares. And their efforts and the way that they think and the way that they deliver the information, it's the best it's ever been. Because it's radically changed everything. Got nothing but good things to say about the staff this year. It's really exciting.
A little better for you?
Yeah, and you know how that is, though. They're really cool to work with.
Get the right team together, yep.
You can get a lot done.
Sometimes it takes a little tinkering before you get there.
Correct. Correct.
Double
It's a blessing that this safe passage, and we could do things with it as well. You know, which is what we're gonna have to really probably think about every year, is if we can just maybe honestly, this works on the way to do it, because their truck that gave way, normally they deliver, which is the optimal scenario. Hopefully, things will be online better this coming year. And, you know, I talked to Willie, and it's kind of just, I don't know how the whole thing evolved this year, but I thought, you know, maybe next February when it's slow, we're in the beginning of the year, nothing's crazy going on. We can have a volunteer, I don't know how it works, but a volunteer meeting amongst all of us working on the project to get better communication with regard to specific order requirements. You know, where because there's questions that come up about, well, did we get any of this, did we get any of that? Just the order processing is so, city guys are great. We just need to, which is very helpful, because we're in a major situation. And we got water in really heavy today, so those guys. Tomorrow. Yeah.
Alright?
Alright.
Yeah, complete.
Good night, Diane.
Oh, yes, yes. I did read it, I saw the red ink. They did. Mm-hmm. Oh, is that in the changes? Oh. Yeah, oh my gosh. Well, hell no.